This risky romance on the next Lisa.
Tonight, it's Harry Shearer. He's at the NBC Studios in Burbank. And he's later with Greg Kinnear.
Sweaty and excited like a 20-year-old, secure in the knowledge that spring break is back, and so are thong bikinis. This is Later. Welcome, everybody. I'm Greg Kinnear, the long shot in this year's Best Supporting Actor category. A lot of you didn't know that, did you now? Great show for you tonight. A delicious program. A few media bites here at the top of the show, checking out what's happening in the world of satellite news. You probably heard about this. Congressman and House Ways and Means Committee Chairman Dan Rostenkowski won a closely contested primary race in Chicago. This was just yesterday, as it turns out. Here are a few of the remarks he made in his victory speech just last night.
It is about consensus and compromise, two values that I treasure. The critics say that I'm not perfect, and they're right. I've made mistakes.
Now he tells us. Oh, sure. I don't remember hearing the scathing public self-psychoanalysis before the polls closed, Daniel. Richard Simmons. Say it loud and there's music playing. Say it soft and it's almost like praying. More than 500 fans of the fitness guru paid $25 apiece to spend some quality time with Richard in Louisville, Kentucky a couple of days ago. Here's a couple of bucks worth of what he said.
Pull it out, come on. Now take it out.
If you really don't love yourself, none of this really matters. Not your children, not your husband, not your home, not your jewelry, not your car. None of it matters unless you really care about yourself.
Yeah, that is from Richard's least successful exercise tape, Losing Weight by Sitting Around and Whining. Not a lot of copies sold so far. We'll keep you apprised. Dr. Joyce Walsleben of New York University's Bellevue Sleep Center is conducting a sleep disorder survey, an actual sleep disorder survey. She asked New York commuters some questions about their sleeping habits, and I guess we caught some of their responses in this report on CNN.
How often do you sleep alone?
Never.
How frequently do you feel refreshed upon awakening?
How frequently? I don't think anybody feels refreshed upon awakening.
Are you ever told that you gasp loudly or disruptively during your sleep?
I'm a very quiet sleeper.
Now, the survey's follow-up question was, are you ever told you look a little bit like Reba McEntire on a bad hair day? And unfortunately, the woman dozed off, gasped loudly and disruptively, and was unable to answer the question. So they discontinued the survey. That's what happened there. The Tanya Harding story may be coming to a close, my friends. Yeah. In a plea bargain agreement today in Portland, she pled guilty to a felony charge of obstructing justice. Here is a moment from the proceedings just today.
Have you ever been treated for any mental illness, or to your knowledge, do you suffer from any emotional or mental instability or disability at the present time?
I don't know.
Well, what you don't know can't hurt you. However, it can be harmful to others, apparently. Finally tonight, a pair of Russian artists named Komar and Melamid. That's Melamid. Conducted a survey of America's taste in art in an effort to create, I guess, the perfect painting. This was a survey they conducted to find out what Americans would think would be the perfect, ideal painting. As we saw in this bite from CNN, the survey came up with some fascinating results.
44% of the Americans love blue color. 88% of the Americans love outdoor scenes. More than 70% love to see the wild animals in the pictures. 50% of the population doesn't mind to have famous people, unfamous people in the picture.
Based on this little survey, actually, we here at Later have created what we think is the perfect little painting. It's something we call Elvis riding a dolphin. Thank you. We'll take a quick break and be back with Harry Shearer right after these words. As many of you may or may not know, I work part-time for the news department here at NBC because the show here is only a half hour and they want to get their money's worth out of me, obviously. This week I had an opportunity to sit down with beleaguered First Lady Hillary Clinton in the Rose Garden. It was a fascinating interview, and I think we have a little bit of that for you right now.
Thanks for sitting down with me. Miss Clinton, what about your husband being kind of a womanizer? I mean, even if half these stories are true...
Oh, gosh, read the papers, turn on the TV.
Exactly. So why'd you marry him? I mean, you must have known what he'd be like.
There'll be many people who are willing to jump up and down and say, I told you so, and point fingers.
Was it like this?
I told you so. I told you so. I told you so. I told you so.
How about, or just for like the next couple of questions, you just sit in my lap?
Sounds kind of hokey and old-fashioned.
Please. Please. You know, I like the way you say the word fails. Fails. Can you just do that a couple times for me?
It's not whether I fail, and even whether the president fails. It's whether the country fails.
Oh, yeah.
So hard. Very difficult interview. My guest tonight is an actor known for his work on Saturday Night Live, and in his film, of course, this is Spinal Tap. He's the voice of many, voice of many of my favorite characters on The Simpsons, and the host of his own nationally syndicated radio program called Le Show, which oddly enough is the French way to say Dr. Quinn Medicine Woman. Ladies and gentlemen, Harry Shearer. Oh, easy. Oh. I thought you were going. That's a lot to wait and a half a minute. Oh my God!
That is a lawsuit waiting to happen.
I know it.
You
just walked right off the ledge.
You have to have white tape there, white safety tape that you can see from a 50-foot distance.
We've lost no one so far, and we've been on the air for what, 2 weeks?
3 weeks. Yeah.
3 weeks.
Do I have garlic breath? Because I.
Whoa!
Yeah, because I made this this linguine with garlic and oil this afternoon, and I cook a little bit. And the recipe in the cookbook says this is a perfect late night kind of snack for Italians. Right. Now you know why, because at that time of the evening you can't make other living arrangements. You know, people can't say, "I'll have another hotel room tonight."
Do you cook a lot?
Yeah, I cook too much.
You are a chef.
I'm a cook. No, a chef would be somebody who actually thinks of interesting things to do with food. I just
throw it in.
Throw it in, turn on the flame, and eat it.
Yeah.
And make my wife eat it.
By the way, you've probably never had an opportunity to talk to Hillary Clinton before, have you, Harry?
Let me say right now, I think the country trusted her better when she had the bangs. I feel it.
You think?
Yeah. I don't know. Do you feel this?
I don't know.
It's something in here. I don't know. Well, the bangs aren't in here, of course. But no, I cannot believe that these are these are among the smarter people that we have in the political game, which is not saying too much, but they still are, and they haven't figured out, bring cronies from small state house, small town and a small state, bring them all together. When somebody asks you questions about what happened when you had a questionable real estate deal, lie, fire people,
Sure.
you know, do all this stuff that they watched the Republicans do and laugh and poke fun at them, and they haven't learned a thing. You know, they know all this policy stuff, they know all this healthcare stuff backwards and forwards, but they haven't figured out how to be a nice person yet.
Do you think she's going to be in a little hot water from this whole thing?
I think she's going to put, you know, grow the bangs back and everything.
For a political satirist, how does Whitewater stack up? I mean, Watergate was a great scandal comedically. I mean, a bunch of Republicans and Brooks Brothers...
Is this for me?
Sure.
Thank you.
A bunch of Republicans in Brooks Brothers suits busting into a hotel. That's humorous. This is like bureaucracy and there's paperwork. I don't know.
Well, but on the other hand, there's avoiding taxes, and there's... I'm ticked off because I bought a home up in Whitewater, and I'm still waiting. I'm waiting to find out what happened to that money, you know? I think it's a small, stupid, petty little bunch of screw-ups that has been inflated by people who, you know, went, hide the file, put it in, you know, lose the desk. And instead of just going, you know, it's real simple, here's what happened. I mean, and now they're coming to it very late. Clinton's going on and saying, well, you know, there's nothing to this, and nobody believes him now because they've been acting as if there was something to it for 2.5 months.
Right. But this is good material, I would think, for political satirists. Like
I think, you know, ultimately, if the two of them go back on 60 Minutes, then it gets good and juicy again, you know, because I think we all look back on that as a woman can do nothing more for a man than to go on 60 Minutes and say, oh, it's okay.
Right, right. What about, now I understand you have probably some of this stuff you see on this enormous satellite system that you have in your house. I understand you actually have dishes on your roof.
A dish.
Oh, it's not a number of dishes.
Not a number of dishes.
Just one dish.
I'm not a maniac.
Okay, I thought you were nuts for a second. If it's one dish, I understand. Yeah. You have a dish up there and you pick up just anything and everything coming across the satellite.
Yeah, and you get to see remarkable stuff. You get to see the other side of the people who are our political leaders and our news presenters. When Nelson Mandela was released in South Africa from 25 years in prison, CBS flew Dan Rather down, I guess to welcome him. I guess that was, you know, Nelson had a wish list of what he wanted whenever he got out, and one was to meet Dan Rather.
Send Dan.
Dan. If Connie co-anchor by then, send her too. But this was before that. So Dan Rather flies down there, and there's 500,000 people dancing joyously to demonstrate their joy that Mandela's been released, waiting for him to drive up and Dan is kind of crouched. Whoa, am I trapped? Dan is kind of crouched on the top of a flatbed truck so they can get a better shot of the people dancing joyously behind him, and he's real unhappy. He's not having a good time at all, and he crouches there for about 10 minutes, all of which I have on tape, and finally the first words out of his mouth are, and you're wondering, what is a man thinking in this situation with this amazing event going on? You know, I did not wash my hair last night because sometimes the stiffness helps you. But now my question is, should I wash it tonight? I guess that's a decision we got to make down the road. I swear.
Who else have you seen on there? You ever seen any of our guys here from NBC? Tom
Brokaw?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen Tom. I've seen him. I have not seen him actually trying to get L's out of the news. You know, can we say something besides lift off, or you know? But an Lockheed L-1011 jetliner crash landed over Bogalusa, you know, killing all 111. Can we say 110? You know, I have not seen that, sir. Now I understand you do Brokaw.
I do a little bit of Tom Brokaw, but don't get me in trouble by asking me to do it here. That's as good as mine is. But I actually like him. I'm dying to get him on the show.
He's a nice guy.
Great interview. You've met him before?
Yes, I have.
Does he have a problem with your doing an impersonation of him?
I heard when I did him on Saturday Night Live that he was not pleased, but then I met him in the hallway going to do the late Dave Letterman show, and Tom stopped me and he said, Harry, and I thought, uh-oh, I'm in trouble now. I'm going out to interview Nixon in a couple of weeks. I wonder if you have a question I'd like me to ask. You know, so I guess he likes me, either that or he just wants to get questions from enemies. I did get Peter Jennings on the satellite once, furiously arguing with his crew because it was the day that the House defeated the flag-burning amendment, and he was supposed to ad-lib some story about the amendment because it came in late in his broadcast. and he's arguing with his crew about how a constitutional, what's it supposed to, no, it's supposed to go through the states now, doesn't it? Doesn't it go to the Senate? No, Pete, it doesn't. It's through. Doesn't it go to the state? No, it doesn't. And this guy's from Canada does not know how America runs.
No, that's depressing
It's
news.
very sad.
So depressing, we'll take a break and be back with Harry Shearer. Don't go away. We're back with Harry Shearer. Now, that was a scene, obviously, from The Simpsons. You do Mr. Burns and his assistant there, Mr. How do you do a scene where you're doing both voices like that back to back?
Well, it's not that hard to do, Greg. I just...
Switch in mid-sentence and they put it together.
No, I can't stand it. It's insanity. I'm baffled by it.
It's amazing.
It all seems so simple now.
I know. It's like, it's very electronic. They have something implanted in me that I can do that.
But you do, who else? You do Flanders, Principal Skinner, Otto the bus driver. Anybody I'm missing?
Yeah. All right, Bartman.
Bart dude. I do Kent Brockman. I do Reverend Lovejoy. I've done Hitler, the Devil, and God. Thank you very much.
And how do you guys audition for who's going to get to do what role on any given day?
We don't, they send us the script and it says you're doing this guy and you do that guy and you just do what they say.
Right.
Cash the check and go home.
Now, I read a quote here. It says, this is from you, the development process, well, it wouldn't make any sense if it wasn't from you, right?
Well, be more entertaining, perhaps.
The development process is the killer of young ideas and there should be a telethon to fight it. I happen to love that particular quote.
Thank you.
Now, you just seem, I know that you are a perfectionist and you don't like to compromise your work. Why do you have what seems to be this umph against, and I don't use that word often, by the way, this umph against the establishment?
I don't have an umph against the, if I may borrow your usage, because I like it. I don't have an umph so much as a, I would say.
But why the youth?
The youth? No, I like to do, at the bottom of it all is, I'm the kind of I'm the kind of person who only wants to do stuff that I think I do real well, because otherwise I get very insecure about it. So I have to think there's something funny about it, or else I don't get it. I don't get why I'm doing it, and I don't get why I'm out there and, wearing makeup. So, it's just that my sense of humor is such that, if I don't think it's funny, I don't want to be wasting people's time watching me do it.
Right.
It's simple as that.
Well, I know you didn't have a lot of development process with regard to this classic film, Spinal Tap.
None.
Right. I mean, this... Any future with Spinal Tap? Anything else down the line?
Well, we did a tour of the Yes!
We were passing out cocktails before the show.
They are the... I'll tell you, Spinal Tap fans are the best fans in show business!
No, they're not. Later fans are.
Yes!
Oh.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Are you going on the road with a... I know, we did one tour a couple years ago, lost so much money, we can never do that again until we pay that money back. No, it's true. We got so screwed by MTV. But aside from that, we had a lot of fun. And we're concentrating now on a new band. The three, Michael, Chris, and I, of Spinal Tap, are doing a folk trio, which is...
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Which is reunited after 25 years of, they went off and taught yoga and did other things.
Right.
But they heard that there was going to be a folk revival, so they got back together again, and of course the folk revival is long gone. But they're called the Folksmen, and we did them at UCLA at a folk festival. We're probably going to do a record and a little... It's much more fun because there's no worrying about the equipment, and there's no worrying about, is the drummer going to show up tonight? So...
We'll be back with one of the original Folksmen right after this. We're back with Harry Shearer. It must have been something I said. Excerpts from Le Show, right? These are highlights from that?
That's my new CD. That's the best stuff from the first 10 years of the radio show.
Great.
And you have such a great band, I have to say.
Thank you. Thank you.
They can play anything, this band.
Last night they did the Beatles exquisitely.
Unbelievable.
This is the later letter. You know what this is?
Yeah.
This is a letter coming from the previous night's guest. Last night, of course, Roseanne Arnold. She asks, we liked your skit about us moving to Minnesota, and
How do you come up with such lofty, left-leaning hipster subjects?
Gee, Roseanne, first of all, thank you. I did a sketch about her and Tom moving to Minnesota done as a story that Garrison Keillor told about them destroying the town. I guess I come up with them by watching Rush Limbaugh and thinking of the opposite of what he says.
Well, Harry Shearer, thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
That's going to do it, folks. We'll see you back here on Later tomorrow night with Kevin Spacey.
Later on Nightside, she's breaking ranks. Shannon Faulkner, the first female cadet to enter the Citadel. An in-depth interview on the battles she'll be facing later on NBC News Night.